Hey guys, what's up? This is going to be Battlefield 6 on the Intel UHD 620. I have an Intel i7 8th generation and 16 gigabytes of DDR4 at 2400 mega transfers, and the i7 8th generation and the 620. I've been tinkering quite a bit with the settings, and the first time you turn it on it's gonna take quite a while, like especially if you're like on older hardware. It's gonna take upwards of like 30-20 minutes to actually boot it the first time, since it's going to do all the initialization and everything. It's gonna shader compile and a bunch of other stuff. It takes quite a while, but after the first time it's not really gonna take all that long. I've lowered the resolution to about 480. Still not getting any sort of consistency, and on like higher resolutions, about 1080 or 720, you're looking at about 4-ish FPS at 720, and at 1080 not more than 1 or 2 frames per second. The other thing is there's drivers. It talks about your drivers. It says you have older drivers and you need newer ones, but for the Intel UHD 620 there aren't newer drivers. I guess the newest version for my laptop, which is the Dell Latitude 7000, is I think .2 something, and it's requiring 8. So I guess it's the newer versions, and the Intel drivers are for the graphics cards like the Intel Arcs, not these. And I think the Intel Iris also has an update, but yeah, it asks for updates, and then you can just see by the loading screen how abysmal the performance is. It's like about 9-11 frames on the loading screen. This isn't even the main screen. Other than that, now we're in. It says Battlefield 6 open beta. We're gonna press space and it's gonna go right in. Normally if you boot it the first time, this is gonna take a bit. Now we go in settings, and I'll show you my graphics settings. I have it on performance, and the graphics quality is set to low. There isn't an ultra performance preset, so now I have the sharpness at 50 because this doesn't really matter since we're not doing any sort of upscaling. In advanced I have anti-aliasing off, upscaling off. I have frame generation on. I'm not sure if this will actually help, but it doesn't seem to really make a difference. I have a performance overlay on, which is this. It shows you the frame rate. I'm getting about 10 frames in the main screen from the CPU side, and I guess this is the actual frame rate I'm getting. So I think it's about 30 in the main screen. It's nothing crazy. And then my field of view is set to 106 because that's also gonna increase the load on the GPU. And then this is my resolution. It's at 480p on full screen. I can lower this, but it's not really gonna help, and the game is still gonna look really bad. I can increase it to I guess around 600, but it really won't help, so I just keep it at 480. And then as a general overview, I can go into firing range. I've tried to go into a match, but it just does not seem to want to actually load into one. It just straight up crashes every single time I load into a match, right? So as you can see, this is what I'm getting. This is with frame generation on, right? It doesn't exactly feel smooth because it's absolutely not smooth, but it does feel like there are more frames, but the input delay is not acceptable at all with the frame generation. I am going to turn off AMD FSR and see if that does help, which I'm pretty sure it's not going to. I've turned off frame generation, which I'm pretty sure is just kind of probably negatively impacting it, thinking of it now. So yeah, now we're in. It's really bad. It's like 11 frames or less actually. I'd say it's pretty low. Yeah, it seems like it's about 9 to 11 frames. So yeah, this is completely like unplayable levels of, like it's really bad. The input delay has went up a bit, like there's less input delay now, but as you can see, it's just not exactly worth doing. Now we will check a few more settings. Everything is in low. On performance, there's custom, performance, and balanced. I'm going to keep it on performance. On balanced, when I keep it on balanced, it's not really gonna it's gonna increase the quality, which when we don't need. We need like better performance. And then we can go in graphics, and then you can see I have it on auto, but I'll keep it on low. Everything is off or at the lowest possible settings, which I'm pretty sure is the lowest everything can go, or we can turn that lower, I guess. And yeah, everything is at the lowest possible graphical settings. Everything, motion blur, every sort of thing is off. These are just overlays and HUD. We don't need to check that or change any of that. Next, we will try and boot up into a game. We will try Rush. It's searching for a match. I'll let you know when it finds one. Alright, so it seems we have found a match and it's going to load. As you can see, while it's loading, we're getting roughly 140 frames, but that doesn't really help when in gameplay we get next to none. We get like 10 to maybe 9 frames. Yeah, as you can see, it's starting to go down. It's loading the map and we're getting worse and worse frames. It's at 11 now, I guess, and the game has crashed. The GPU will not respond to more commands. GPU Intel driver, this error is usually caused by graphic. Yeah, so basically what's happened is our graphics driver has crashed because it can't handle it, because obviously it's not meant to. The main problem we're getting with this is, even with the lowest graphics, I went around and actually looked at the firing range, the textures are still pretty high. Even at the lowest possible graphics and lowest settings, the textures of the walls and everything and the guns are pretty high, which they're not supposed to be. So that's an issue. And then obviously it's integrated graphics, it's not really meant to support this type of game. Other than that, yes, we've just crashed. I've tried multiple other matches. The furthest I've ever gotten into is the loading screen, and then it shows the actual map itself. It loads the capture points, and then immediately after loading the capture points in maybe 1 or 2 places, the game just completely crashes again. So yeah, it's not working on this.